To the US state of Florida, which of course was hit by Hurricane Idalia. Moody's Analytics says a preliminary cost from the storm run between $12 to $20 billion in damage and lost output. Rebuilding and who pays for it will be a challenge, and also raise a debate on whether some properties should be abandoned as climate change accelerates weather events from storms to wildfires. Let's bring in Junge, who handles property underwriting in the US for reinsurance giant Swiss Re, who joins us live. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. If you could firstly explain to us what happens with disaster insurance for homes and businesses when a hurricane like Idalia hits.
Sure. So first off, the images we see on the television are just devastating and show how challenging Mother Nature can be. But it's the insurance industry's opportunity to really prove our value. But it then begs the question of, how do we adapt to these storms? This is the second major hurricane that we've seen in Florida in just a year, with Hurricane Ian hitting last September. And so insurers have the challenge of kind of understanding, how do we predict these in the future?
Does it mean that it is getting harder for those, for example, in Florida to get insurance?
I think it certainly can be, but it's not just a hurricane issue. So the hurricanes we see on the news, they remind us how devastating things are, but it's also what we refer to as secondary perils. So whether that is hail or wildfires, like you mentioned, losses that are not well understood, that's really where the challenge comes. Insurers have to predict what's next. Hurricanes are relatively well understood, but the other perils that we see across the globe that are causing major financial issues, those are particularly challenging.
Indeed, and scientists have been warning, haven't they, that climate change will lead to more extreme weather events like this. What's your view on this debate about less rebuilding or no building at all in areas that are now seen as pretty high risk?
Sure. I mean, that's a particularly challenging issue because people want to live in sunny Florida where the beaches are beautiful. Swiss Re did a study that found that building codes that have been adopted over the last 50 years, since the 1970s, have probably reduced annual losses by some 90%. Now, the challenge is that since the 1970s, Florida's population has tripled to almost 22 million people. And so the benefits that we saw from the building codes being strengthened have almost been, or have been offset more than double by the population growth in the area. And again, insurers have to adapt to that.
Junge from Swiss Re, thank you so much for joining us and telling us your insight on the program.